Then this was at the time I was like, let me just call who they call the prophet. I called him. And we had a long chat on the phone. And I liked him. The Sunday I went to church. I heard the word, and it just changed me.
Oh, that's amazing.
It changed me to the point where I was like, who does the chairs in this church? Who does the PA system in this church? And there was no one, because the church was yanga 2 years changu. And I was like, I'll be willing to do that.
Amazing.
So I used to wake up at 5, going to
Isa.
church, do seta machairs angu, do seta, not because of Koti, it was because of the heart. Now I wanted Lord to repay me with something else, not my parents, but something, because I already had one. My parents vagandipa, shelter he gave me. So what I was wanting now is for him to guide me. So I was now doing and thanking the Lord with Mari. Until now, you've been with me. So until now, I can do anything for the Lord.
Oh, that's amazing. Tafadzwa, your story is very inspiring, I should say so. And I want to say that do not give up. Sometimes we lose hope and we feel like we're not going anywhere, but look at you and where you are now. God came through for you. You now have people that you can call family. You now have people that you can call parents. And if you look at your story, it should inspire you to do even better, and I know that you will. And I know that a lot of people will also be inspired by your story. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us right here.
Thank you very much.
If we talk about how God works in wonders, this is the story itself. He didn't believe in prophets. He didn't even want to hear about church. But look where he is now, serving, and his job requires for him to be in church. He also has acquired parents who actually took him in when he was totally nothing. God does work in wondrous ways, I should say this, and this is a testimony indeed. Against all odds, always here to bring you inspiring stories. Until next time, do take care.
Make a wish come true with the TM Pick and Pay Christmas Wish. Visit our Facebook page for more details. This time check is brought to you by TM Pick and Pay.
Good evening and welcome to Sunday Edition. My name is Natasha Bennett, Peaceway Jomonica at the Sign Language Desk.
And I'm Tariro Manamiki with Sibukele Maposa at our Montrose studios. For now, let's take a look at what we have for you tonight. In our leading story, condolences pour in following the death of former Vice President Mpoko in India.
Some of the features to expect on our Sunday edition in our This and That, residents of Mtapa speak on what seems to have become an eternal structure in Gweru.
And in our science and technology feature, our reporter, Courage Bushi, explores how a young Zhishavane-based innovator has established a new Alltricks reading software.
And in sports buzz, Heath Streak Academy eyes improving Zimbabwe's cricket.
And now let's take a look at the leading story tonight. The late former Vice President, Comrade Phelekezela Mpoko, has been described as a pillar of the nation, a dedicated servant of the people, and a champion of unity. Yolanda Moyo gives us more.
Colleagues say the passing on of the veteran politician, Comrade Phelekezela Mpoko, has left a void that would be difficult to fill. The late former vice president was widely respected for his unwavering commitment to justice, equality, and the development of the nation, with his contribution to the political and social landscape of Zimbabwe.
Njengomuntu omdala hayi kuzake uthatha isikhathi ukuthi sikukhohle khona lokho ukuthi sithole o replace uMpoko ube ngomunye wabantu besimhlonipha kakhulu. Oko i-development beyifuna kakhulu. Wele kasaqedanga yena iminyaka emihlanu engu-vice president sibone sibili ukuthi uphetha ngani kodwa ke ubelezifiso eziningi.
Beyond his political career, the late Comrade Mpoko was also a highly respected diplomat.
Ubaba Mpoko usebenzile. Yakhumbula baba engu-ambassador e-South Africa. Kwakulezi zinto ezingamanga kuhle. Thina sodwa abansundu but ngokuba kwakhe khona ngale wenelisa ukukhulumisana leziphathamandla ngendlela yakhe emele ilizwe and kwaya kwadeda kwatshengisa ukuthi singabantu banye sasibambisene uhambo lokukhulula amazwe ethu. Weza futhi ngapha wazokuba yakhumbula wayeseRussia wenzile umsebenzi wakhe ubaba wawubamba kuhle kakhulu eRussia umsebenzi lapho ngaleso sikhathi wayengakabuyi ngapha eSouth Africa kodwa wawubamba kuhle kakhulu esenzela ukuthi ubudlelwane bonobuyane sasilabo ngesikhathi sokukhulula ilizwe buqhubeke busiya phambili lanamhlokho lokhu budlelwane lokho bunjani bukhona.
Born in Ngwizane, Bobe district on the 11th of June 1940, the late Comrade Mpogo joined the liberation struggle in 1964 and received military training in Russia. Comrade Mpogo was appointed as the Chief of Logistics of the ZAPU Military Command under the Office of the Special Affairs, a critical role he held until 1980. After independence, he served in various government positions and was posted to the diplomatic missions from the year 1987, serving in countries such as Russia, Austria, and South Africa, among others. Funeral arrangements will be announced in due course. Hilanda Moy, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
The sugarcane growing sector is looking at strengthening climate resilience strategies to protect yield capacity. This comes as the industry is targeting to boost its production by a further 100,000 metric tons.
At a time when Zimbabwe is reeling from the effects of the El Nino-induced drought, sugarcane outgrowers have underscored the need for a multifaceted approach to ensure the sugar industry achieves its targets by year 2030 in the face of climate change.
In the vision year 2030, 600k metric tons of sugar. Saka, with the knowledge that I get, I think I'm going to implement it on the ground. Make sure that we follow what we have learned and we stick to the routine measure that makes us grow good cane.
Basina mafama pakuimprove my yields edu uye kuimprove industry yedu kuitira kuti panoitwa value addition diversification inenge ichitawo inenge tichita from a point inenge iri quite large inenge ine high yields.
Sesumanyi farmers manje takukasiya sitazova neruzivo rwakura singaiti zviso todzisawo vamwe kuti zvatakadzidza izvozvo zviimplement mumaminda kwedu.
Constraints which impacted on sugarcane production in 2024, which include delayed supply of agricultural inputs and the non-availability of irrigation water due to drought, were also put under the spotlight during the graduation ceremony.
We are in a terrible drought, as we all know, and that is compounding the problems that we have. There is inadequate water conveyance system, and there is a lot of water poaching upstream for the Mukwasini sugarcane farming area.
Officiating at the graduation ceremony, Zimbabwe Sugar Association Chief Executive Officer Mr. Edwin Kondo said the farmer certificate course in sugarcane production is a step in the right direction towards addressing the challenges faced by the country's sugar industry.
This graduation ceremony is not only a testament to the hard work, dedication and perseverance of the students who are celebrating today, but also a reflection of the commitment of this institution to excellence and innovation in agricultural research.
The 2024 Zimbabwe Sugar Association Experiment Station graduation ceremony saw 42 sugarcane outgrowers being awarded a farmer certificate course in sugarcane production. Geima Tambo, ZBC News, Chirezi.
The Munumutapa Economic Empowerment Program has been launched in Makoni District as part of the national drive towards the achievement of Vision 2030. The empowerment program is being spearheaded by President Emmerson Mnangagwa.
Minister of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, Dr. Jenfan Muswere, who is also Makoni West legislator, outlined the scope and focus of the Munumutapa Empowerment Drive aimed at implementing the 8.0 rural development model and subsequently attainment of Vision 2030.
That's not development, the economic empowerment. Irikuitwa na President Idi Mnangagwa. tataura zviga zvingani 8 manyatsozvinzwisisa. Saka nhasi tiri kuparura chirongwa chemunhu mutapa economic empowerment program. Muparuri wehurongwa uhu ndiPresident ED Mnangagwa. Asi kuti tisvike muna 2030 pane zviga zvakasiyana siyana zvinoparurwa kuti mari nehupfumi hunge huchiuya mumaoko enyu. Zuva ranhasi President watitumira takatarisana nemi mese mauya pano muchabva muine fertilizer neseed. Zuva ranhasi zvakare President ED Mnangagwa wari kukupai zvakare huku kuma youth 5,000.
The Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Advocate Mishek Mugadza, spoke on the strides taken in the implementation of economic empowerment programs, mainly benefiting the youths and women.
Muno Mumanikaland, guest of honor, zvirongwa zvese zvema youth 10 zvese muno zvirufamba. Kune youth funded projects dzinotaurwa 1072 ma youth akakwereteswa mari neEmpower Bank. Mari yoyo 243,600. Youth 10 hectare program iriko. Izvozvi tine patakatotarisa kuti tipedzise vamwe vanofana kupanda kupinda muchirongwa ichocho, vamwe vakatopuhwa ma 10 hectare.
The youths are highly appreciative of the empowerment initiatives.
Tirikuda kutenda baba vaMnangagwa vakabatana pamwe chete naComrade Jennifer Muswere, MP wedu wekuno kuMakoni West, nezvinhu zvavatipa. Vatipa mbeu nemafertilizer zvepfumbudza.
Takuita zvemaprojekti edu, huku dzange dziri dzaita, takutengesa, takubatsirana. Satina kutenda President.
Takutenda taupiwa huku dzedu 5,000, fish dzedu 10,000, mafertilizers edu anosvika kuma 300.
Economic empowerment and rural development programs are at the core of the Second Republic's thrust to accelerate rural development and accelerate the attainment of an upper middle income economy by 2030.
Church leaders are amplifying their voice to denounce all forms of violence against women and children, emphasizing the church has a critical role to combat the social ill.
Gender-based violence statistics for Zimbabwe remain unsustainably high, with official figures by the United Nations Population Fund stating that about 1 in 3 women aged 15 to 49 have experienced physical violence, and about 1 in 4 women have experienced sexual violence since the age of 15. This Saturday, during an interdenominational Gracious Women's Fellowship International Conference held in Harare, Dr. Yuna Gute said the church cannot remain silent at a time when the moral fabric of society is being eroded.
The Gracious Woman, its work was to make people aware that there is such an organization which can build your marriage and not tear your marriage, but build your marriage. And the things that would make the marriage to be sour, they were being dealt with.
Women who attended the conference acknowledged the important role the church plays in eradicating GBV.
We are teaching women across the denominational divide on how to avoid things that trigger fights in the home.
All things are solved by dialogue. You don't need to be violent.
As the world observes 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, there is a call to action for gender rights stakeholders to enhance awareness against the social vice.
Speaking on the sidelines of the coronation of Mufti Yusuf bin Ali, a Muslim legal expert from Zimbabwe, President of the Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs in Zimbabwe, Sheikh Ismail Dua, underscored the need for joint action of religious communities in addressing gender-based violence.
That is why our incoming Mufti, the first agenda teacher up,
is to write nenyaya iyoyo kuti iseculated Zimbabwe yese kuti gender-based violence aidiwe zvachose chitema kuna Mwari.
Mufti Yusuf Binali highlighted the contribution of Islamic teachings in creating a violence-free environment.
The coming of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, may peace be upon him, brought in the laws that actually changed the entire Arab Peninsula and the world civilization at a global level that we see today, that so many women's rights have been enshrined in the Holy Quran.
Grand Mufti of Zambia, Sheikh Asadullah Mwale, shared his country's experience.
GBV, it's not allowed by all means. It is an anti-Islamic behavior. So we need to change our behavior. In Zambia, we are trying. Zambia and Zimbabwe, there's nothing different.
According to statistics by the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, gender-based violence statistics for Zimbabwe remain high, with about 1 in 3 women aged between 15 to 49 years having experienced physical violence and about 1 in 4 women having experienced sexual violence since the age of 15.
The government says it will continue to create opportunities for women as part of the National Priority Programme to foster gender equality.
The Academy of Women Entrepreneurship marked its 5th anniversary yesterday, celebrating 5 years of impactful empowerment projects aimed at equipping women with the skills and resources necessary to succeed in business. Guest speaker, Women Affairs, Community, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Minister Senator Monica Mutsvangwa highlighted some of the initiatives being put in place to support women empowerment.
This milestone is a testament to the dedication and commitment of AWE in advancing women's development, not only in Zimbabwe, but also beyond our borders. The fact that this celebration has come at a time when the nation and the world are commemorating 16 days of activism against gender-based violence is significant. Entrepreneurship has been identified as one of the most effective ways of empowering women.
One of the major key takeaways has been the promotion of gender equality in the entrepreneurship landscape.
We are looking at the issues around women building businesses, from an idea to building it and to grow it. At the same time, we have got a lot of other things that are related to it that connect with issues around personal empowerment to also economic empowerment.
The Academy of Women Entrepreneurship also announced a series of new initiatives aimed at expanding its reach and capacitating women in business. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
The National Tree Planting Initiative is emphasizing conservation of natural resources, with communities being directed to assume full responsibility to combat deforestation.
Mashonaland Central Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Christopher Magomo, led stakeholders in planting the tree of the year, named the Queening Tree or Mudzungurungu, during Provincial Tree Planting Day celebrations held at Vonabo Farm in Glendale, Mazowe this Saturday.
This year's theme, I quote, trees and forestry for ecosystem restoration and improved livelihoods, unquote, resonates deeply with our collective responsibility to nurture our natural resources for the benefit of current and future generations.
Young people also participated and learned key lessons in conservation from the nationwide initiative.
Zuva ranhasi tadyara miti nekuti miti inotikoshera muupenyu hwedu kuti tikwanise kufema imiti.
Ndadzidza kuti tinofanira kusima miti kunyange kwose kwatinenge tiri, and miti inobatsira muupenyu, ndiyo inotipa mweya wekufema.
Zuva ranhasi tadzidziswa kudyara miti, tadzidziswa kuti yakakosherei.
The Forestry Commission committed to continue providing technical assistance in conservation and tree planting, while Chief Negomo urged traditional leaders to enforce regulations to curb wanton cutting down of trees.
Miti inogona kurarama tese tisipo, asi isu tese hatigone kurarama miti isipo. Saka tinofana kuti tiichengetedze miti yedu kuti tigogara nayo ichitipa donhodzo, ichitipa zvakasiyana siyana.
Hatidi kuti tive nema-veiled fires anopisa miti iyoyo. Saka ma-councillors nemasabhuku kunyanya vagere munharaunda mukaona pabatidzwa moto udzai mambo.
Government is actively implementing programs aimed at reducing deforestation and promoting afforestation with renewed zeal following its recent participation in the COP29 conference aimed at combating climate change. Tapiwa Machemedze, ZBC News, Mazoe.
ZANU-PF Mashonaland East Province leadership has assured commitment to continuing with the economic development trajectory, mainly targeting women and youths.
The ZANU-PF inter-district meeting held in Goromonzi this Saturday was aimed at giving feedback on the conference outcomes, with an assurance to strengthen empowerment programs for women and youths. According to ZANU-PF Mashonaland East chairperson Comrade Daniel Garwe.
Mtemo wa ZANU-PF ndeuti kana mabva ku conference kana kuti ku congress munozodzoka ne feedback report yemunotanga maita ma PCC yatakaita masvondo mayara akapfuura. Takubva manje pa provincial level takwenda kuma inter districts. Tine ma programs akawandisisa, ma projects akawandisisa, ma projects anoenderana nemadzimai, ma projects anoenderana nema war veterans, ma projects anoenderana nema youth ari muma sector akasiyana siyana nezveupfumi. Mukatarisa ma ministry ese kune ma programs and projects. Saka gore tipinda mugore redzva gore 2025 chekutanga kuconsolidate zvagara zviripo.
ZANU-PF successfully held its 21st annual People's Conference in October this year with the theme Industrialize and Modernize towards the attainment of Vision 2030. Tafadz Gwachkwedere, ZBC News, Goromonzi.
ZANU-PF party structures and affiliates were honoured for the outstanding work they did during the year at this year's edition of Legacy TV Empowerment Awards.
A celebratory mood filled the ZANU-PF headquarters this Saturday as the party structures and affiliates were honoured for their outstanding work during the course of the year. Some of the winners, who include Mapostori for ED and young women in business, could not hide their joy for being recognized.
Paunongochita mabasa unenge usingazivi kuti nerimwe zuva panogona kuzoitawo vamwe vanhu vanoappreciata, vanotenda zvaunenge uchiita, zvinondipawo masimba kana manyuku okugutsikana zvandanga ndichiita zvinhu zvakanaka zvinotoyemurwawo nenyika.
This gives us the power to move ahead as we are facing 2030, but towards 2025, to make sure that we compete against each other, to make sure that we are empowered.
Legacy TV director Ms. Agnes Chinakidzo said the awards are meant to motivate cadres to work hard for the Revolutionary Party and country.
Vision yedu ndeyekuti patinozosvika 2030 tinge tarecognize vanhu vakawanda.
Harare Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Charles Tavengwa, noted with gratitude the efforts put by the party structures and affiliates in changing the developmental matrix of the country.
Then we are saying we are nation building. It's a collective effort. And then if you are then recognized as an individual who has contributed so much in that collective effort, that goes a great way, really.
Legacy TV Empowerment Awards is a brainchild of the children of veterans of the liberation struggle who aim to appreciate ZANU-PF party structures and affiliates for the various empowerment initiatives they undertake to improve livelihoods. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
And we now cross over to our Montrose studios where Sibukele Maposa is on standby to continue with the rest of the bulletin. Good evening, Sibukele.
Thank you very much, Taddy. Good evening, Zimbabwe. We carry on with the news. The establishment of a road traffic accident fund, which aims to improve and provide financial relief to victims of road traffic accidents, is now at an advanced stage, with revelations that it has been tabled for Cabinet for consideration.
According to the Minister of Transport and Infrastructure Development, the much-awaited road accident fund is now at an advanced stage, with revelations that the proposal has been submitted to Cabinet for consideration.
The bill, in terms of the lawmaking process,
Cabinet has to approve what we call Memorandum of Principles. This is basically a skeletal document that will then inform the flesh of what the bill is. So right now we finalize those draft principles, and soon I think the Minister of Transport did make an announcement that he will present those to Cabinet for approval.
The proposed fund aims to provide compulsory insurance coverage to all road users in Zimbabwe, ensuring that those affected by road accidents receive timely medical treatment and financial assistance. A parliamentary portfolio committee tasked with overseeing transport and infrastructure development engaged with the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe and the Minister of Transport and Infrastructure Development officials in Bulawayo to delve into the details of the proposed road accident fund.
Road accident fund will then be able to cover that gap between getting the medical aid into effect, and so between the accident and doing the other processes, there is need for medical cover for the people to be taken for medical attention. So the road accident fund will be released to cater for that gap.
Principles that would guide the fund, including its funding mechanisms, were outlined.
There was a brief as to the modalities of how it could be done. The parliamentarians were interested even in the funding, and they gave very interesting suggestions. And we believe it has given new impetus to the process that was initiated by government.
The proposed road accident fund is seen as a crucial step towards providing a safety net for victims of road accidents. Heland Moy, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
The ZANU-PF leadership in Masvingo has paid tribute to government for spearheading developmental programs in communities.
It was time to reflect and celebrate for the ZANU-PF leadership in Masvingo province. As the year 2024 comes to an end, the ZANU-PF leadership, including Politburo member Comrade Lovemore Matuke, who was the guest of honor at an end-of-year party, paid tribute to President Emmerson Mnangagwa for his visionary leadership that has seen a number of developmental programs being implemented in communities in Masvingo and across the country.
Reflection yezvakanaka zvakaitwa naPresident wedu. Tatisu nhasi semhuri yeMasvingo tingosangana tichifara nokuda kokuti musangano kuti ufambe uenderere mberi unofamba chete kana takabatana. Saka tinoda kuti titende isu tose tauya pano nhasi.
ZANU-PF Masvingo Provincial Chairman Senator Robson Mavenyengwa said the event was an opportunity to emphasize the importance of unity through supporting all developmental programs.
Tatiri pano tichiratidza kubatana kwedu nokuwedzera kubatana seMasvingo Province, tichicherechedza mabasa ari kuitwa nehurumende yedu inotungamirwa naPresident wedu Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa, uyezve tichiratidza kutsigira kwedu kwakazara kuvision yaPresident yeVision 2030.
Masvingo Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Ezra Chadzamira, reflected on developments implemented in the province, especially in infrastructure development and agriculture sector.
Nyaya yeVision 2030 inyaya yakatikoshera. Takatarisa mabasa aitigwa province yedu yeMasvingo nemutungamiriri wenyika kuti migwagwa yedu yose iri kugadzikwa, mvura, zvikoro, health facilities.
Among several developments in Masvingo province include the Harare Masvingo Bay Bridge Road, Great Zimbabwe Hydropower Project, expansion of Bikita Minerals, and devolution projects such as schools, clinics, roads, and boreholes. Ms. Matina, ZBC News, Masvingo.
831 youths graduated from the youth service in Zimbabwe at Daidaya Training Center in Rishavane this Friday.
The government has expressed its appreciation at the level of commitment displayed by youths in attending the youth service in Zimbabwe, YSZ, which promotes and plays a vital role in fostering focused youths. This came out during the inaugural youth service in Zimbabwe graduation held at Dadaya Training Center in Zvishavane. Graduates who completed the 6-month training program vowed to play a key role in the national development.
Inini hangu kunzo uko ndiri kukurudzira mayouth kuti tishande nesimba tikwanise kuzvimiririra.
For now, I'm going to be undergoing a nursing program in Cholocho. I'm glad that I've finished and I'm ready to go home.
Kufara school faro wakawedzera kuti ndakwanisa kutanga nekupedza program.
Minister of Youth Empowerment, Development and Vocational Training Honorable Tinoda Machakaire emphasized government's commitment to establishing YSZ training centers nationwide, a development that will help produce focused youths.
To increase enrollment, the ministry intends to conduct training at 2 more training centers next year, namely Gulu Training Center in Gwanda, Matebelele South, then Igava Training Center in Marondera, National East Province. Akare takagara pasi nemamwe machechi vane infrastructure vatisatapedza kukurukura navo toda kuti vange vachikwanisa kudzidzisa vana vedu mabasa emaoko vachidzidziswa zvakare youth service in Zimbabwe.
Grounded in principles of discipline and youth development, the program is making significant strides in combating drug and substance abuse while also directing youths towards productivity. Karajushe, ZBC News, Zvishavane.
The Methodist Church in Zimbabwe, Trinity Circuit, held a commemorative march in Harare to mark 132 years since the inner city church was established.
The march, which started at the townhouse up to the Trinity Methodist Church in Harare this Sunday, drew congregants of different age groups to observe an important milestone in the history of the church.
We need to let our church grow bigger so that it may reach 1,500 more years.
This is a celebration that helps us as a church to engage more youths into coming into the church. And as we're coming from the march, it's a celebration that has energized most of the church.
1959 kana ndisingakanganise 59 na 60 ipapapo ndo pandakazotanga kupinda pano tichibva kumbare ave tiri 5 vakaenda kunopfekedzwa maGCU takanopfekedzerwa padhuze nepabhora apo chechi iripo yemethodist iyai. Muchato wangu ndichichatiswa ndakachatiswa na B Ray ndo vakandichatisa muchato wokutanga ndobva ndachatiswa ndiwo wokutanga paTrinity vamwe vakazochata.
Kuya kwandakaita kunoku ndakanzwa mwoyo wangu uchirwadza kwazvo nekuti yanga ichine varungu. Zvino varungu ivava vakanga vachiti vanhu atema vega vandichera vega.
Toda kutenda Trinity seseketi weMethodist Church in Zimbabwe. Ruwadzano vazhinji sokuziva kwangu vakatangira paTrinity.
Trinity Methodist Circuit leadership spoke on the church's role to bring more souls to the Lord.
I am proud to be a Trinitarian. Nekuti we've made a difference in the community. Being an urban church, a church that is in town, vanhu vose vari within the CBD and the environs, Anna Bridgeside, Anna Avondale, all the suburbs are around us come and worship here.
As a church, tinotenda kuti it's like Jesus has come again. It's like the spring of life which came out of Golgotha is alive again and the water is stirred, and all these people are celebrating their salvation, their peace, their survival, and they are beckoning eternal life which has been given to this church by Jesus.
Presiding Bishop George Mawire stated the importance of the 132-year journey for the church.
Kana tiri kutaura nyaya ye 132 years of existence as a church. Zvose izvozvo zvinofadza kufunga kuti chokwadi church yararama for all those years. Unotanga kufunga kuti chaita kuti irarame 132 years kusvika pari zvino chii woona kuti Mwari anoshanda. Vamwe vakaenda vakawanda vakashanda paTrinity votofanira kutorangarirawo nenguva iyoyi nokuti kuti pano munhu akararama 132 years hapasisina kubva payakatanga. asi vese vari kurarama varipo ndovanouya nokuti pakaitwa basa rakanaka.
Trinity Methodist Church was founded in 1892 in the then Salisbury. Tafadzwa Chigwerere, ZBC News, Harare.
The late leader of the South African Communist Party, Chris Hani, is remembered as a vibrant political leader who contributed significantly to the end of apartheid in South Africa. Now, I'm an African feature tonight. We look at the life of one of South Africa's eminent politicians who was assassinated in 1993.
It makes me actually realize, you see, with impatience, the need to defeat this regime. And I don't mince my words when I'm speaking about this regime. I hate it intensely. I hate it.
Born Martin Tembisile Hani, the firebrand and charismatic politician, joined the African National Congress Youth League at the tender age of 15, but would won his political consciousness at the University of Fort Hare, where other anti-apartheid luminaries such as Robert Sobukwe, Govan Mbeki, and Oliver Tambo studied. Before his assassination on the 10th of April in 1993, Hani was probably South Africa's second most prominent politician after Nelson Mandela, following his return from exile, where he led the ANC's guerrilla operations as the party's military wing, Umkhonto we Sizwe's chief of staff. A defiant and fierce critic of the apartheid government, Hani was famed for leading the Wankie campaign during the liberation struggle from the ANC's headquarters in Lusaka, Zambia. It was a collaboration between Umkhonto we Sizwe and the Zipra forces aimed at infiltrating the Rhodesian forces and its allies.
When I was in Zambia, whenever I crossed, visiting Zimbabwe before I came back into the country, I would make a point to drive through Livingstone, Victoria Falls, stop next to the Wankie Game Reserve and just have a look at that general terrain, you see, because one thing I can say, it took the Zimbabwean security forces a long time before they knew of our presence inside Zimbabwe.
His assassination in 1993 plunged South Africa into a deep crisis amid ongoing negotiations for a democratic government. With a potential civil war looming, ANC leader Nelson Mandela heroically calmed the country's nerves in one of his historic press conferences on national television.
A man of passion, of unsurpassed courage, has been cut down in the prime of his life. Chris Hani is known to all of us, loved by millions, hated only by those who fear the truth. We say to all South Africans, black and white, that the day of truth will dawn.
Today, Chris Hani's charismatic leadership, steadfastness and bravery entrenches him in the history books of not only South Africa's liberation, but that of the continent and beyond. Meanwhile, Hani's killer Polish national Janusz Walusu was released from jail on parole 2 years ago, was this Saturday deported back to his home country amid calls by the South African Communist Party and Hani's family to open an inquest into his death. It is reported that Walus and his co-conspirators killed Hani to derail the transition from a white minority government to democratic rule.
Well, that'll be all from the Montrose News Desk. Sunday edition will now take a break. I am Sibigele Maposa. Good evening.
Mawuya, Samngele, welcome home, where each sunrise paints a new masterpiece and every corner echoes with memories and a call to create more. We can catch up over a cup of tea, a glass of Zambezi beer, or just relax and watch sunsets together. Escape into the world and enjoy the unparalleled safari experience that is unmatched. From self-drives to guided tours, from the iconic elephants of Hwange National Park to the elusive big cats, our safaris promise unforgettable encounters. We have accommodation to cater for every budget, from camping to luxury lodges. You are spoiled for choice, from sharing self-catering properties to all-inclusive, high-end luxurious safari camps. From the tranquil waters of Lake Kariba, the largest man-made lake in the world, to the thundering Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe is a heaven for both soft and adrenaline travelers. We know you missed the Zimbabwean beef, sadza rezviyo, matemba, berere, and many flavors of Zimbabwe. Our culinary journey is a celebration of diversity as we enjoy the beauty of our beloved country. Let the adventure begin. Travel and experience Zimbabwe this festive season. Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe, travel Zimbabwe. Life is a precious gift, more precious than silver and gold. Parties and alcohol, with road traffic accidents happening every 15 minutes and at least one person dying every 4 hours in Zimbabwe every day. More die over weekends and public holidays. Take heed. Remember your loved ones. Don't drink and drive this festive season. This message is brought to you by the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. We continue with the main news bulletin. A 70-year-old exotic tree in Gweru's Mtapa suburb has drawn public attention amid community consensus that it was planted by colonialists to mark the central point in the country. In our This and That feature, our Midlands Bureau Chief Tafara Chikumira speaks to residents of Mtapa on what seems to have become an eternal structure in Gweru.
Located next to Mtapa Hall and famed for hosting the first ZANU-PF Congress in 1963, the mysterious Mtapa tree, which looks like a shrub, is of sentimental value to the community due to its nature and unique features. While there is no doubt that the Midlands province is the heart of the nation, residents are convinced the exotic tree was planted to mark the exact center of the country. For 50-year-old John Magura, who was born and bred in Mtapa, the tree, which seems to have maintained the same physical form for years, is a rare species that should be preserved for posterity.
Chimuti ichi chikuriro chatakangoita takangokura chakangodai hachina kutichinjira hachina kudina manje chingoripo zvivakwa zvese zvamuri kuona zvese zvivakwa zviri panapa zvinotarisira kuti zvinotove zvidokwane pamuti uyu. Muti uyu kwatiri isusu vamwe vakuru vaitaura vachiti pano patakamira ipo pano patikutaura tiri ndo pasenta peZimbabwe. Uyu muti uyu pakagredwa imwe muti yese wakangosiyiwa wakangodaro namanje isu chikuru chedu chataita namakore atave nawo wakangodaro namanje hausati wachinja hausati wadini.
Another resident of Mtapa, Tapiwa Ruziwe, speaks with conviction on what makes the tree unique.
Muti uyu takakura tichingomuona vana baba vedu vachimwa doro tiri vanana tichingotumwa kuzotenga doro tichingowana muti uyu uri wegreen. Handina mboona mashizha awo pano pasi. Muti wakangokura wakangodai. But pane chibhorani chiri padhuze apo chakadhiriliwa nezinwa pahora ndo pane pegi yatinoziva ndo pasenda peZimbabwe. But muti uyu takakura tichingomuona wakadai haudonhi mashizha unongoramba uri evergreen. Hapana patakambowana uchinzi pari kutsvaigwa pasi.
When all has been said and done, what remains a fact is that without proper coordinates on the actual geographical center of the country, the story of Mtapa's mysterious tree remains folklore. Tafara Chikumira, ZBC News, Gweru.
And now in our business update, the value of goods and services produced in Zimbabwe as measured by the gross domestic product is expected to be driven by agriculture, wholesale, retail and mining sectors in 2025.
Treasury reveals that it has set a 6% growth
for Zimbabwe next year from 2% this year. In its analysis of the major sector contributors to the gross domestic product GDP for 2025, agriculture is leading in terms of overall contributions. The authorities are attributing the trend to an anticipated favorable agriculture season and a stable currency. Riding on the massive investments of outlets and shops across the country, the retail and wholesale sector is expected to play a vital role in economic development. An anticipated improvement in the international commodity prices is also viewed as facilitating positive contributions by the mining sector on economic output. The manufacturing, tourism, transport, and distribution, including financial services, are also expected to play an important role in contributing to economic growth. At a projected forecast of 6%, Zimbabwe's economy is above the average growth rate for the SADC region at 4.5%. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
In our science and technology feature, local innovators are breaking barriers through new technological solutions to contemporary challenges. In our science and technology feature, our reporter, Courage Boucher, explores how a young Zhishavane-based innovator has established a new Alltrix reading software that uses smart classroom technology. We get more details in the upcoming report.
The need to achieve and enhance growth of a paperless education system has jolted young innovative minds into action. One of them is a Zhishavane-based Bright Machero, who has developed an Alltrix easy reading software that can be used by students to access reading material during a smart classroom lesson.
Software inonzi Alltrix easy not software. Chatakaita device this software, we are chasing or running towards the 5.10 education curriculum forum iripo, and by so doing we discovered that schools akawanda they are learning using technology, but they are not learning actually one of the direct link between a competitive e-learning and student merging area. So that with this software it helps the teacher to communicate between ear and student. Pakuti kudii teacher akanga aine textbook akanga aine zvinhu zvanoda kuresearcha akanga aine zvinhu zvanoda kuratidza in practical, you can use this software to use a flash uchiburitsa zvinhu zvino flash through this software. You can use this software uchishandisa matools depending on kuti physics, chemistry, maths, English kudzidzisa vana.
The software, which works hand in glove with the smart classroom technology, also uses the virtual reality technology.
Zimbabweans takaona kuti English iripo, maths iripo, but tine science subjects atina wakati se physics ne chemistry. Those subjects ukazvitarisa muzvikoro zhinji hazina ma-appliance kana ma-apparatus ekushandisa. So we included physics and chemistry as one of the additional subjects. Atingaizishiona rurimi rwamai mwana wese anoruziva. Saka focus on the main subjects kuti vana vanodzidza vachiona zvinhu in reality and in practical, uye vachikwanisa kugaina knowledge ezvinhu vari kuona in reality and in practicality. That's why we listed English, maths, physics, science and chemistry.
The Second Republic's Education 5.0 model, which seeks to produce graduates who address societal needs, has seen students and graduates coming up with innovations to address industrial needs as the country continues to make strides in the industrialization drive. Karajushe, ZBC News, Zhishavane.
We're off to a break. Stay with us.
Applications are invited for an apprenticeship training program with the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation in the Engineering Broadcasting Technology Department, commencing January 2025. Applicable trade, electrical engineering, communication systems. Ideal candidates should satisfy the following minimum requirements and submit a minimum of 5 O-level subjects, including mathematics, English language and science, with grade C or better. At least 2 A-level passes will be an added advantage. Clearance letter from the Apprenticeship and Skilled Manpower Board. Preference will be given to applicants with higher educational qualifications. Certified copies of national ID, birth certificate and educational certificates. Be aged between 16 and 23 years by the 31st of December 2024. Applicants are invited to visit the corporation's website www.zbc.co.zw to apply or email applications to students@zbc.co.zw. Closing date is 10 December 2024.
2018 kubuyile be-EU bayikhomane SAT nga-Sustainable Agricultural Technology vanhu valava va yi dyondzisile mhaka World Conflicts mukundeliwa hi tihomu hi timhisi na tinghala ta swi vula ku ya hikwalaho va yi dyondzisile mahlayiselo ya tihomu ta hina ku hi fanele aka swivala swi nga tiya leswi swi vekiwa ma-electric fence ta swi vula hi kumile ma-opportunities ko tala u kota ku save tihomu ta hina kumbe ku endla start ma-own programs ta hina ma-own project ta hina ku fana ni butchery ya ha ri kwalaho ni khensa ngopfu hi mhaka ku village ya hina ya Mihlanguleni so far ya tiva ku a hi fanele ku hlupheka hina tihomu ka swi lo hi ne hluvuko ndhawini ya hina. We are empowered.
Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. In sport, Zimbabwe budding cricketers from the Heath Strick Cricket Academy have left the country for India to participate in a competitive series which will run for 2 weeks in the city of Bangalore.
As the country eyes building sport from the grassroots, under 14 and under 16 cricketers from the Heath Strick Cricket Academy will have a dance on the international stage when they participate in a competitive series set for India.
A tour like this basically puts them under top spinners over there because we are playing against strong provincial teams and a couple of top cricketers who will be training these children.
I'm very excited. It's going to be a lot of skill development and learning for me.
We can learn like the actual different types of spin so that when we come back, it's easier to face and it's easier to help others because we have the knowledge of the spin.
I believe it's going to help me to give some precision in my bowling.
A Deputy Minister of Sport, Recreation, Arts and Culture, Honorable Emily Josiah, affirmed government support towards initiatives promoting the country's image.
Speaking of Vision 2030, where we're saying we need to achieve an upper middle income society by 2030 as espoused by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe. Sports does play a very pivotal role in the attainment of that. If you look at it now, and we look at the sports tourism cluster, how do we build that sports tourism? It's through these international exchange programs that we have already started.
And our relations are not from today. Since the time of Kingdom of Manu Mutapa, Indian, we have people-to-people contacts. So we would like, embassy would like to play its role wherever we can do to enhance these kind of exchanges.
The tour aims at giving under 14 and under 16 cricket players exposure to the highest level of cricket, ushering them into their professional careers. Reynaud Ngwarati, ZBC News.
Zimbabwean mixed martial artist Themba Gorimbo lost his second Ultimate Fighting Championship to his Brazilian opponent in a fight held in Las Vegas, United States of America this weekend. We get more details in the upcoming report.
Zimbabwe Gorimbo could not hold on to his breath, nearly fainting after he was choked out with an anaconda trap just 52 seconds into the fight.
ZBC Football Club are the champions of the inaugural Recharge and Reconnect Soccer Tournament after beating Jester Media Holdings on penalties at Belgravia Sports Club this Saturday.
Journalists from various media houses around the country this Saturday took some time off their scripts and newsrooms to enjoy some time off on the pitch. More than 5 media houses converged at the Belgravia Sports Club to participate in the Recharge and Reconnect tournament, an event meant to combat gender-based violence, GBV, in the newsrooms. Playing against other media houses, ZBC proved to be a notch above others, thumping Yoja by 4-0, the biggest scoreline on the day, before winning 3-2 on penalties against Chester Media Holdings.
Tinofara zvikuru nekuti ZBC ndo yazokunda dzimwe dzese ende tinovakurudzirazve kuti varambe vachisapota vatori venhau mune zvese zvavanoita kuitira kuti tinenge tichiyeuchidza veruzhinji vakatikomberedza kuti no titoriwo vanhu tinototambawo nhapo.
Toda kuti kudzimba matambiro ataita nhasi zvive zvinobva pano zvinosvika kuti kudzimba kuti vanhu ngatigare zvakanaka mudzimba, vana mai nana baba, vasikana navakomana, kubasa kwatinoshanda ngatishande zvakanaka.
Final matapinda mukam tapinda with ZBC. It was a tough game because ZBC agara ma rivals. Tatofara bora ratambika mune zvakanaka.
The organizers were pleased with the achievement of their objectives.
Tinoona kuti majournalists vanoita basa rakaoma sereka asi zvikashoma kekuti tinokwanisa kusangana tichingoungana tichiona kuti tinokwanisa kusangana sei mamedia houses anga aripo anga akawanda.
The event, sponsored by Gender Connect, featured journalists drawn from different media houses in the country to participate in soccer and netball tournaments while combating and raising awareness on gender-based violence. Reynaud Ngwarati, ZBC News.
Congratulations indeed to ZBC Football Club. On that happy note, we take a break. Stay with us.
Get your business ready for the festive season with ZBC. Join us for the ZBC Mega Festive Business Promotion running from the 1st of November of 2024 all the way to January 31 of 2025. Enjoy an incredible cash discount of over 50% across all ZBC platforms. This is your opportunity to make your business shine. So celebrate with ZBC and watch your business thrive by simply booking your spot right now. For more information, call Tandeka on 0719 594 426 or Martha on 0719 593 532 or Precious on 0719 593 510 or email tandeka.mubi@zbc.co.zw. Terms and conditions apply.
People's favorite. His song Makanaka was the non-mover, sticking on the 2nd position. His latest offering, Hora, joined the chart this week to claim the 4th place. Kudiwa Chaizho remained on position 10. Song of the Moment Chawiriri, a collaborative effort by the HKD Boss Freeman, Master Edge and Nati O, remained on the 1st position from last week. Leon Magos, with his song Success, might be exiting the chart after dropping 18 places to sit on number 40 from 24 last week. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
In showbiz, the night was lit as the sweet melody of praise songs filled up the skies at the iconic Gospel Music Legends show held in Harare this Saturday.
But the entertainment adrenaline increased its tempo just a few kilometers away as the revelers were thrown into ecstasy at the Unplugged Food and Drink Show.
The festive season has come with a huge statement of intent. Revelers are putting on their dancing shoes to experience the roller coaster rise in the entertainment industry. The Honeypot was opened this Saturday at the Unplugged Food and Drink Festival as revelers blew off some steam at First Capital Bank Sports Club. For once, revelers agreed on one statement, Hakuna Matata, a Swahili statement meaning no worries.
It's good for young people to come together and just have fun.
The show did really live up to its billing, and I'm really enjoying myself.
Everything is great here.
Kind of living up to its standards, but I think they've done it.
Organizers of Unplugged were equally impressed with the attendance.
We are very excited by the crowd that has attended this event.
Across town, the Harare International Conference Center was the place to be for gospel lovers as they were serenaded by legends of the industry. Yesteryear songs from legends like Baba Manyeruke, Pastor Charles and Olivia Charamba, Shuvai Wutaunashe, Fungisai Jakavapano, Pastor Bonnie Dushal, and Sipo Makavane brought back sweet memories. Gospel artists who have made names for themselves in the genre who also performed included Eliana Makombe, Minister Michael Mahendere, as well as Matthias Mere. The attendees were happy with the performances.
We enjoyed it, it's nice. Tanga tine nguva yakanaka chaizvo aiwa takomborerwa.
Organizers of the show appreciated the support they got.
It's been an electric night. We celebrate the legends. All I can say is the spirit of gospel music industry and the legends lives on.
For a moment, this team traded the pen for a moment on the dance floor. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
And that's it for tonight's Sunday edition.
But before we leave, we give you the video of the week, Mono by Bazooka.